bro, if I'm gonna do that, I better have some cocaine. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have no sense doing this, bro. My bad language, dog.
Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. TJ, man, WWE and UFC, they're joining forces. What do you think about that, man?
Bro, why? How you hit me with this right out the gate?
I don't know.
Bro, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know where we're headed at this point. Uh, I ain't got nothing against the wrestling. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? When I was a kid, I was really into that shit, and then like, got my heart broke finding out it was fake. So I ain't really watched it or nothing since then.
Hey, take me back to that because I have my heartbroken story as well. But give me yours.
Bro, so I remember I had like some cousins. We all watched that stuff. We'd even like practice the moves on the trampoline outside. I done been power bombed so many times I can't tell you. But yeah, man, I just remember being a kid. My mom was into it too. We all watched it, and then I remember being, finding out it's fake. It's just heartbreaking. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now I kind of watch it, and it's kind of like a soap opera or something. So I don't know, bro. Whatever. They out there making money, I suppose.
Yeah. They're doing their thing, man. There's always something for somebody, you know what I mean? And
Uh, uh,
and it just trips me out that the grown men could be like that deep into
yeah,
WWE.
and let's not forget about the slap contest we got going on now. What's going on? It's a clown show, bro.
Yeah, man, that's even wilder. And the dude got busted for like cocaine, and they're like testing people for slap boxes. Like what?
Bro, if I'm gonna do that, I better have some cocaine. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like, you can't have no sense doing this, bro.
I
My
know.
bad language, dog.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good, man. It's all good, man. Let's get into some real stuff. Some real fighting. Something that you could defend yourself against. Bill Algeo, man. That's a legit opponent, man. There's so many fighters in the featherweight division that you could have been matched up with. Is he a guy that you've been watching, or you've watched in the past? If you've noticed in his fights?
Yeah, he is actually someone like I want to say on the radar, but I've seen him fight. We was at the PI at the same time a few times. But I had my eye on him, and dude, the guy's legit. You know what I'm saying? A win over him. Going into, I guess I've got 2 fights left in my contracts. A good win here, another win that puts me in position to really start asking maybe for some more money on this next contract. So uh, I'm dialed in on him, man, and I've had a great camp, and I'm ready to go.
Let's talk about the PI, man, because that's an interesting place. Because that's a place where you see all these fighters. You see fighters from your division. You see fighters that you don't know. Are people like peeping each other out? Are they like sneaking over and looking at other guys train? You know what I mean? Do you notice that?
I don't think you can deny it's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody's about to fight somebody. You see somebody close to your weight or in your weight division, you're going to be peeping them for sure. But heck, let's also mention, I run into some legends up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I know he ain't with us no more, but I hung out with Francis Ngannou. We was both getting a massage at the same time up there, and just cool to I was like, man, I'm sitting here with the champ. So it's cool, man. It's cool. It's a cool experience up there.
What's the coolest like experience though? Like meeting somebody over there because there's like retired fighters as well that's sneaking in and out once in a while.
Believe it or not, I was a big Cub Swanson fan at one time, and I remember me and him falling the same card, and it was really cool. I remember just being on Fight Week, thinking it was just surreal to me that I watched Cub Swanson most of my career, and really thought a lot of him, and here I am, I'm in the same gym training with him, So it was just it's a great experience, and I ran into a couple cool cats up there.
That's good, man. Now back to Algio. His skill set, man. What do you see in him?
Well, I think he's a pretty well-rounded fighter. Got some tricky striking. Uh, I just if I could see, I don't want to talk down the man, but if I could see anything negative, he's just he gets hit too much, and I'm gonna try to take advantage of that, put these hands on him, And but man, he's a well-rounded fighter. He's been around the game a while, like I have. So I mean, y'all gonna be. There's a reason we're the first fight on the main card. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be an exciting fight.
Yeah, man, that's a good spot to be in, and we saw him go to battle with Andre Fili, another exciting guy in that division as well. Lost a close split decision. What'd you think of that fight?
I thought it was a banger, man. Good fight. I think Philly just kind of got the better of him, got ahead, and stayed ahead. Throughout the fight. But Philly ain't no joke. It's respect for my opponent that he hung in there and did as well as he did.
Your last fight against Eric Silva, man, that was a wild fight. Entering that third round, were you chasing the finish or did that finish just come to you?
Yeah, bro. We were chasing the finish. I remember between 2 and 3, dude, I'm the craziest head case there is out there. But I remember between 2 and 3, it's like I woke up, and we were intending on going here and finishing this guy. It's kind of like I started strong, and I kind of was like playing with my food a little bit in the second, and then third I came out there and got the finish like I should have been doing. But I was definitely looking for a finish in the third.
Man, you dropped him, I believe, a couple times in the first two
Uh,
rounds, and uh, and with the crowd and everything, did that kind of get into you a little bit? You know what I mean?
oh,
Hearing the cheers.
for sure, man. I love that shit, dude. Like, one of the reasons I do this, man, being out there in front of a live crowd, people yelling your name, it's like it's the best high in the world. So yeah, I think it'd been a while, since I dropped somebody, and I think like I was just so excited, I kind of like jumped in on him. But that's something we've been working on this camp, just keeping my composure, keep piecing this guy up, and I know if I just keep touching him, he'll fall.
Since your last finish, I mean, it's been a while, right? You've had decision wins, you've had decision losses, you've had controversial fights. Do you feel like you got over some mental hurdles in that last fight?
For sure, dude. That's actually a great question, man. It's been a long time coming. I'm really starting to see some things I've been working on the mental side of the game start to pay off. And ultimately, it's just figuring out who I am as a fighter. Who I am as a fighter, identifying who I am as a fighter, and do uh nothing can replace the experience of the minutes that you have in that cage, and I'm finally starting to find my feet in there, man, and I'm looking to do some exciting things.
You've fought in the Apex with no crowd. You've fought in front of pay-per-view crowds, and I believe this is your first like win. You know what I mean? In an arena, man. Walking out as the winner, it's completely different, right? How did that
Yeah, bro.
feel? Take us to that.
That's a just a surreal moment, like anytime you win, just all the hard work you put into that camp, the hours, the sacrifices you've had to make, and just get that win is in anywhere you're at is a huge deal. But you add on top of that, all your fans and family and friends that came out to support you, yelling your name, like, dude, you can't beat that, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Put that stuff in a bottle somewhere and sell it. I mean, it's the best.
Put it in a
Um,
bottle so you could like open it up like 20 years
yeah.
later, right?
But it's great, man. And dude, like this Kansas City card, like that's not too
Mm,
far from Little Rock. So we've got
mm,
a shit ton of people coming up,
yeah.
dude. And dude, it's gonna be a hell of a weekend.
And another question that I probably never asked anybody else, and this is the first time asking a fighter, is like doing a post fight interview inside the cage in an arena compared to doing it inside the Apex. Compare those, because like you're talking to
Oh,
nobody, right? In the Apex.
no doubt, dude. And you can kind of feed off the crowd.
Yeah.
It's great. And dude, I'm gonna tell you, my interviews have come a long way. I remember some awful interviews, post fight interviews in the cage. So I'm glad I've had enough experience in there to enough mic time that
Yeah.
I'm a little more comfortable, more savvy in there. But boy, I've had some awful mic interviews.
Hey, you live and you learn, man. You live and you learn.
That- That's right.
How banged up were you after that fight? Did it take a little bit to recover?
Dude, for once in my career, I wasn't beat up after, from tearing my knee, orbital fracture, handbrake, like it was kind of nice to walk out of there and not have any injuries. And hell, I get injuries when I win. So it was nice to come out of there healthy this last one.
I see that you split. your time, your training camp in Mexico, man. A
Woo!
phenomenal spot, man. Talk about where you went and how was that experience?
Sure, man. It was really just a experience of a lifetime, and I'm being serious about planning on going back at the least. Spending some more of my camps there. But man, it was just a great experience. Like it's a fighter's dream come true. I was at Tulum Muay Thai. It's a beautiful place, and they've just got a it was really cool to see the culture and community they had built around there, man. I'd seen it before in jujitsu gyms before. I've seen it a bit of a team base in MMA, but they've got something down there special. Everybody down there is working together, and there's some world beaters down there on top of that. And I got to train with a couple world champions. I mean, it was great. And not to mention you get on training, you go to the beach, you go hang out. It was just a dream come true, honestly.
You're training, you're working on your Muay Thai, you know what I mean? And there's phenomenal coaches down there. Like, of course, when you train and do like privates and get one-on-one sessions, they kind of look at your stance, like your movement. Like, what did you like work on in detail? You can reveal to us.
No, no, please. I'd be happy to, man. One thing that was relieving is Eddie, the main coach down there. He was kind of like, don't try to do fight Muay Thai. Fight your fight, and we'll kind of critique some small things here and there. But man, the one thing that I really see have an awakening with my skill is my clinch work, man. My clinch work was, dude, it's progressed tremendously. I'm really waking up in some areas, and not to mention, man, I got to see some places I was good. That I was like, man, if I'm doing it to this guy, this stuff works for sure, and also showed some areas where I need to work on. So man, the benefits that I reach from going to Tulum for this camp are unbelievable, and I'm looking to really show off some of the new stuff I learned and some stuff that I gained some confidence in while I was down there.
I also saw that you got some new ink. What sparked that as well?
Bro, I got some killer
Yeah,
stuff
you
right
do,
now.
man.
So
Well, they could look on the Instagram.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just peep me down, TJ Brown. But man, one of them was really cool to me. It was a Viking rune,
Mhm.
and it was something the Vikings did before war, or just maybe for protection. But it was, cut into the skin. These different signs that mean some different things. And the guy from that did mine from Germany, he made one specifically for me, and it
Wow.
really means something to me. And the other
Mhm.
one just looks really cool.
You peeped that show, Vikings?
Yeah, bro, that's good
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. That's like one of the
Listen,
best ever, right?
huh?
That's one of the best shows ever.
It's great, bro. Great.
Yeah, makes you wanna fight somebody, huh?
I've seen.
Uh, you go back to, Westside MMA, man. What does the camp look like, winding down?
Right. Man, it's been really good coming back home. Just so I could kind of source everything back to MMA. You know what I mean? Like I went and got all these attributes from different styles, and now I'm kind of just honing everything back into my MMA game. And I get to do that with guys like Bryce Mitchell, Luis Pena. You know it. Sometimes when people think, "Oh, I'm going back to Arkansas," like there ain't work. No, there's work. Like we got good work, along with some great jujitsu guys like Atai's. I mean, man, I've got a whole group of guys back here that have really been taking time out of their schedule just to help me. So, man, a big shout out to all the guys at Westside MMA.
Luis Pena, man, he's so tall, he's so long. How tricky is he sparring him, man? It must be a puzzle.
Oh, dude, it is a puzzle, and I remember, he started in our gym. I remember when he first started, and just watching his development and his fight IQ go through the roof, along with being uh, a good athlete, a good what would you call it? Structure. Being as tall as he is, he's just a man. He's a problem, is what he is. He's a problem, and he's a fun self, a fun puzzle to deal with. And not to mention the guy I'm fighting. He's like 6 foot, so it's good. Been good to have a taller guy with me.
Wasn't his next fight canceled? Wasn't he supposed to
Yeah.
fight last week? Or this
Uh,
weekend or something?
I felt bad for him, man. He's supposed to fight this weekend. And he's been training super hard for it. Good fight for him, man. And the whole show canceled. You know, you hate to hear that. You know, because I don't know really what happened, but I think people really take for granted, like fighters a lot of times in many cases we're counting on this money. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're counting on this fight to help pay bills to get by, and I know he was really counting on that, and I think he's got him a good turnaround right now. So hopefully he'll get back in there soon.
Yeah, I was talking about that with somebody about fighters on the regional scene that a lot of fighters they step into that cage in debt because
Yeah.
they real
Hey, I've done it many a times,
yeah,
brother.
yeah, yeah, and people need to understand that. You know what I mean? Like people need to understand that, these fighters they're putting a lot on the line by going to these fights, you know what I mean? And they need to get their paychecks, So that sucks for Luis. What are your expectations, man, in this fight against Bill?
Man, I want to be real honest. Like, when I go out there next Saturday, and I give my best performance yet in there, man. I'm going to shine, man. Like, this guy is really tailor made for me to go out there and put on a great performance, and he's just tough enough and durable enough to maybe take it for a few rounds. So I put together a highlight reel, but no disrespect to him, but man, this is a good matchup for me. I'm ready. I'm in good shape, and I'm looking to put this guy away and put on the best performance you've seen from me.
How proud of you are of yourself, man? Because there's a lot of guys from that Contender Series season that are not around anymore that have been cut, man, and you've survived, man. Because it's a survival game in the UFC. It's not
Right, bro.
easy, man.
Right, dude. It just kind of reaffirms, I'm here for a reason. I was born for this shit, and man, I don't know. It gives a lot of validation to myself, honestly, man. In no way am I done. Like, we're gonna keep climbing these ranks, but it's definitely nice to know all the hard work and sacrifice I put in over the last decade is finally pay off, and I'm where I'm supposed to be, and I did what I had to do to get here, and man, it's really a rewarding feeling.
Yeah, man, it's great to see, man. It's great to see. We've been talking since like before the Contender Series, so it's great to see you
I,
become so successful, man.
I'm glad you remember. I was just telling a girl the other day that in one of my interviews, Kyler walked in the room and he
Yeah.
kind of gave you some input one night. So I'm glad you remember, man.
Yeah. All right, man. April 15th, UFC Fight Night in Kansas City. You basically a home game for you. Go
Let's
to the
go.
descriptions, download the AllStar app. TJ, thank you so much, man, for the time and all the best, man.
Hey, brother, thank you for having me, man.